All of you that are here this morning, we call our meeting to order. If you will, please stand, and we'll ask Commissioner Wood to lead us in the invocation, and Mr. Kuykendall in our pledge. Mr. Wood.
Let's pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. Thank you for all your many blessings, Lord. We thank you for this great country that we live in, Lord, and the freedom to our eyes to enjoy. Lord, we just ask you to be with us during this meeting, dear Lord. Give us your divine wisdom, and may we everything that we do be pleasing in thy sight. In Jesus' name, amen.
God.
Please place the flag. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated, please. Again, let me welcome you to the meeting today. I regret that you've had to come to such a short agenda today, but I do want to apologize for our renovation project. The weather somewhat changed our schedule, and so the operation that you see to my right will be gone the next time you come. But we appreciate your patience with us during our renovation project. The first item on our agenda is to approve our minutes. Gentlemen, I think you have them in your packet or you received them via email. Is there any changes that need to be made in the minutes as you received them? If not, do I hear a motion that we approve them as you received them? Here a second. Motion second in the discussion. Minutes favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed state your objection. Thank you. The next item is the road department maintenance update. Mr. Broad.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'll be real brief. I don't have much of an update to give you. The weather has really hampered our efforts at the road department the last few weeks. We've been trying to haul some dirt when we could. Still been hauling up in the Beerhead Cove. We'd like a little bit more there being done with what I'd like to get done. But it's probably maybe another week or two before we get started back. Don't really know to what extent we may have received some damage on our roads. I hadn't noticed any of our paved roads that I've been across. Hadn't seen any major problems with them. I doubt that our dirt roads are completely thawed back out right now. So I expect to have some problems when they do completely thaw out. But I'm hoping that it's going to be minimal and not very widespread. But that continues to be. We'll see what happens the next few days with that. One good thing is the ground was not just really saturated before this hard freeze, and so hopefully that has spared us from a lot of damage on our roads. But that's about all I have for you in the way of an update. If you have any questions, I'll answer those for you.
Thank you, Mr. Broad. Any questions, Mr. Broad?
I can assure you we do have some roads damaged.
And there's no doubt we're going to have some damage, but hopefully it won't.
The logging trucks are not really helping matters, but they got a right to be there too.
Any other questions? Go ahead with personnel.
All right. We had posted a position at the last meeting. I'd like to recommend Bradley Higgins to be hired for that position.
Gentlemen, you hear Mr. Broad's recommendation. Is there any question concerning his recommendation? If not, then do I hear a motion to honor his pledge? Your second.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Minutes favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, state your objection. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all I have for you.
Thank you, Mr. Broad. The next item is the Kilpatrick voting location. Some time ago, the fire departments and others around the Kilpatrick area have requested that we move the voting location from the fire department due to the circumstances that surrounded that at times. And so there has been a relocation done. A building has been provided. It meets all the specifications as far as I know. Mr. Westbrook, I know may want to address it, but anyway, they contacted us, and Mr. Sharp will explain all of the legal ramifications. It's not what it one time was, going through this type of process to change the voting location, but we do have to go through some avenues to make it acceptable. So Mr. Sharp, if you want to address that, then we'll turn to Mr. Westbrook.
Well, like you said, we used to have to go through the Section 5 pre-clearance to the Justice Department, which was a long process of trying to get a polling place changed. Now, all it takes is just a resolution by the commission approving that, notification, of course, the board registers, and they would notify any of those voters in that location, you know, that the change has been made. I've talked to Ed Packer with Secretary of State's office, and he's reaffirmed that to me, that is the process that we would need to go. So the first step would be the commission adopting a resolution moving it from the current location to the new location at the community center.
Thank you, Mr. Sharp. Mr. Westbrook, we'll turn to you. Any comments, Mayor Hand?
I don't really have any comments on that. If they want to do their voting box, their precinct voting box, that's good with me. I think the community center is probably a little better option than the fire department anyway, so I'm all for that.
Well, one thing too, we checked and saw what the distance, it's about a minute drive, about maybe even less than a minute drive
I've
from
been
the
there
current location.
this past weekend and looked at it, and shouldn't be any issues with it at all.
We've done that before in cases like at Valley Head and different places like that, so shouldn't be a problem, but we do have to go through the process in order to make it official, and it is agreeable with folks in the community, just to let the record so state that. There should be a question about that. Any other comment, question about the process? If not, then Mr. Westbrook, you want to put formal motion?
I make a motion, we sign a resolution for moving the voting box into the record.
Thank you. Do you hear a second? Second. Proper second. Any discussion concerning the resolution? There is none, then, as many as favor, let me know by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, state your objection. Thank you very much. That concludes our agenda. Mr. Posey, if you would please come and give us a report. I know we've had some issues, weather issues, and we appreciate all that you all have done. I know yesterday the wrecks around 68 in Mentone and during like that. Give us an update on that.
Yes, sir. Yesterday morning, beginning around 4 o'clock, we began to see some accumulation of freezing rain and ice. Within about 30 minutes, we started seeing multiple accidents. We had 5 separate semi-tractor trailer accidents yesterday within a matter of about an hour. We had 1 in Hyder, 2 in Mentone, and 2 on Alabama Highway 35 here in Fort Payne, up on Lookout Mountain. With that, I discussed with Ben Luther and Ms. Harkwell about issuing a order of impassable roadways to try to prevent any further accidents, and so we did. We also pushed that out on social media and media. We wound up having a lot of stranded motorists out of Alabama Highway 68 between Cherokee County line and Collinsville, but luckily for us, the temperatures began to rise around 10 o'clock, and we were able to coordinate with Alabama Department of Transportation and the road department here in the county. I want to commend Tim. He was a big help yesterday, working to get the county roads slagged and treated. The mountain gap roads that we were having issue with, basically everything north and east of Fort Payne. We had a little pocket down around Geraldine and Crossville that didn't get hardly anything. They might have seen a little bit of sleet, had a few icy patches. Other than that, we were okay in that area down in District 2. But the rest of the remaining districts were heavily impacted, especially those along Lookout Mountain and the points north and west of Fort Payne up in the Ider-Henniker area. We did have a few injuries. We had 3 transported to the hospital, 2 from Ider and 1 from out here at on Alabama Highway 35. There at the brake check where semi-trailer, tractor-trailer had jackknife and a passenger car come around the hill and slid into the back of the truck. But fortunately, that resolved very quickly. Our temperatures went back above freezing around 10 o'clock. We began to see improvement of the roadways quickly, and by noon, we were back in business. We didn't have any major issues. I miss my partners in crime severely. They're both gone this week, but we can tell down in EMA that we were missing part of our team, but we were able to handle and manage the media and public outreach. There were many calls into the office concerning roadways. We were trying to work with the industries and media to push out any information. We had coordinated with the schools the day before and decided on a 3-hour delay, which for the first time ever, all of the counties in the surrounding area, Jackson, Cherokee, DeKalb, and Etowah, all delayed for the same amount of time. So it was a lot easier on media and on the public. And then we all decided to close at the same time. And so it kind of worked out well for the public and for our school officials that we all kind of coordinated together and made that decision. And then at the same time, we coordinated with Mr. Arkrow to decide to go ahead and call the county businesses off, our offices off for the day, just for the sake of being safe. And you know, always kind of look in hindsight, but and you can always kind of question yourself. But if I'm making the decision to try to save lives, I will not ever second guess that. So we want to always try to protect life and safety as our main priority. Y'all have any questions?
Michael, we appreciate all that you did. I know I was in contact with you during all that time. But now today, if I'm not mistaken, I think there is some potential for some more inclement weather. Is that tomorrow?
Later on this week. Right now, it's looking like Friday. We actually have some thunderstorms, possibly some severe weather. So if you don't like the weather in DeKalb County, wait for about 5, 10, 15 minutes and it'll change on you. Today versus, you know, last week we're extremely cold. Today we're already in the 50s. Tomorrow we're supposed to be up near 60. Thursday will be in the 60s, if not higher. Friday will be 50, in the 50s or mid-60s. And we have a chance of some strong storms that day and evening. And then that night we have another shot at getting some wintry precipitation as cold weather begins to move back in. Old man winter rears his head again by Saturday. Our highs on Saturday are supposed to be 32.
I did hear you right. Saturday was
Yes,
the winter?
Winter's coming back. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
I thought I misunderstood.
We put in an order for spring, but it just hadn't arrived yet.
Well, I apologize. I thought I misunderstood. But let me just say we appreciate all that you did in the road department and law enforcement everywhere. Thank you for what you did, and you know, however we may have to, you know, we want to work with you in every way we can. We take your advice under those kind of conditions. So
we definitely appreciate everybody that worked together. You know, with a wintry system like that was yesterday with the ice and everything, it does take a team. We had sheriff's department transporting people to their jobs to keep essential county offices open, and we had city of Fort Payne working with our folks to try to get emergency responders up to the accidents on 35. So it is a team role thing that we have to play during that event. We appreciate all the support we get from you and the commission.
Thank you, Mr. Posey. We appreciate it. Gentlemen, anything y'all need to say? Comments you need to make?
Thank you for all they do. I know you tireless hours. You're out at night and all wee hours and running roads, and appreciate what you do, man.
Thanks, sir.
Again, we thank you for being here this morning. We had a brief agenda. We appreciate you present. That concludes our agenda. We'll meet again on January the 23rd here in the chambers. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Any without objection, so moved. Thank you.